Looks like I'm going to be roasted here.
Oh.
Mackenzie, good to meet you. Ebony, good to meet you as well.
Great to meet you.
We're so glad to have you, Sharib. So can you tell me, how is AI being used to empower patients to find clinical trials? And along that same line, can you share any specific examples, maybe from TrialX, where AI-driven approaches have significantly improved that trial finder experience?
Thank you for asking that, Mackenzie. I mean, this use of AI goes all the way back to 2008. When we started TrialX, out of grad school, the typical story that you hear about garage startup in New York City. Me and my co-founder here is in the room somewhere, Dr. Chintan Patel. Yes, so we started TrialX as a platform for patients to find clinical trials using AI. And what we were using at that time is called natural language processing. We would look at all the trial criteria from clinicaltrials.gov, and the software would parse those sentences to find, inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria. Are they talking about certain labs, certain medications, and pulled patients' medical records from Google Health at that time. Like, folks, do you remember Google Health? Anybody in the crowd? 2008. And believe it or not, 200 people every month would come there and connect the Google Health record and see matching trials based on natural language processing. So much so that the CIO of Beth Israel Deaconess in Boston, he got to know about it, and he called me one day and said, hey, you know that? We are using Google Health at Beth Israel. I want this because my grandma can do it. And that was how TrialX really started. We were like, wow, this is great. You know what, guys? All good stories don't come to great ends immediately. Google, Microsoft shut down their personal health record platforms. But we, TrialX, have outlived that product. So what happened in 2011, we took all that great NLP technology coming out of a lot of the work that Chintan did as a PhD candidate at Columbia University. And we were like, what can we do? Google is no longer there. Microsoft is no longer there. What can we do about it? And then we realized that we have a trial search engine, but patients really don't know how to search for trials. If you give a search engine and a search box and advanced filters like phase and intervention types, they don't know what to search for. So we decided we'll make a question-answer-based guided search technology using NLP. And this won the best cancer app by NCI in 2011, like a decade ago. And guess what? They invited me to Hawaii to take the award. I was like, hey, no complaints about that one. So a decade ago, we built this technology. It asks one question at a time. It looks at all the criteria and simplifies the questions. And you ask for outcomes. 3 out of 10, 30% of the people who actually use the guided search, they sent referrals. This is 3 times more than when we gave them a search box and they found a trial and they searched, looked for a trial and sent a referral. 3 times more. 50% of the people were actually able to go through 8, 9 questions. Do you have this? How far do you live? How far are you willing to travel? Have you taken this medication? 50% of them. Versus when you give them a search box, 80% drop-offs. So that is what we have learned over the last 10 plus years, Mackenzie, and to keep it short. Using AI, we have been able to give people a better way to search clinical trials.
So I am a fellow digital health enthusiast and AI person too. But a lot of people are skeptical nowadays, okay? So we know that generative AI is only as good as the data that it draws upon. So can you tell us how TrialX is ensuring that AI-driven recruitment strategies ensure accuracy of information as well as is drawing upon representative data to drive clinical trial recruitment?
That's a great question. And folks, raise your hand in the crowd if you've heard this maxim for, garbage in, garbage out. We all know about it, especially if you've done data analytics, machine learning, AI. It's true. If you feed the machine garbage, it's going to spit out garbage. So that has been a limitation with AI and training models for a long time. But what's exciting with generative AI, and which is what we are leveraging right now, is that in this AI, you train it with vast amounts of knowledge. All the knowledge that humanity has created, you can train it with that. Now, it will have its biases, it will have its errors as well, but the exciting part is it gives you the control that you prompt it. You ask, you tell it that this is the direction I want you to generate the content. So where I'm going with this is, we are actually using generative AI right now with a major sponsor. All of us know, if you go to clinicaltrials.gov, even though we aspirationally say we want our trial content to be at 8th grade reading level, you all know clinicaltrials.gov will get a minus F. They won't pass that exam at all. But what we have done, we've been working with this large sponsor. They always pull their trials from clinicaltrials.gov. And we were like, how do we simplify this? So we are using generative AI to simplify this content. And of course, it took some engineering, and this is called prompt engineering. You must be hearing this. Hospitals like Beth Israel actually have a chief prompt officer. That's how you prompt the technology to give you the right results. So our CTOs and our engineers prompted the technology to say, okay, take this piece of content, very complex written, probably some MD, PhD wrote it, and can you bring it down to 8th grade level? Now, in the early days when you were training your models, if it didn't know what is 8th grade, and you fed this technical piece of content, it will come up with a technical summary. But the good news with all these OpenAI, ChatGPTs and all this, they have learned everything. Even a toddler has written 2 tomes and encyclopedias. So it can understand when you say, give me 8th grade level information. So we tried it. We said, can it actually do this? So we fed 20 trials, complex criteria, complex descriptions, and said, simplify it in less than 300 words, down to 8th grade level, include bullet points that can summarize, are there any visits needed? Will you be given any compensation? How complex will be the visit? Will there be a blood draw? So based on the input of the trial, it actually generated these summaries. And then we had 3 humans review the output of this summary on 3 parameters. Is every statement the AI is saying, is it correct? Factually correct? Is it relevant to the study? I'll give an example of the difference. It can say, you may be compensated for this study. It's correct. Some studies will compensate you, some studies may not compensate you. But is it relevant for that study? Maybe not. Maybe the information is not even in ct.gov. So, and last is it clear? Can an 8th grade person read it? And we did this evaluation. The results were very promising. More than 80–85% scores on all these parameters. So much so that our sponsor looked at it, and this is the top 5 pharma in the world, and said, guys, we are going to go ahead with it. So they have allowed us to simplify all their clinical trials and list it on their website using AI. They have reviewed the prompts, they have reviewed the results, and they feel confident that we're not making any major blunders. We're not putting ourselves into a liability stick, you know. It's good stuff, and guess what? Now here's a question for all of you. Okay, there was a website, patients would go on it, they would read a trial listing, they would spend some time on it. We took the same page, and I've given you an option to read the simplified version of it. Guess what happened? Did people spend more time on the page, or did they spend less time on the page? Any guesses in the crowd? Great. That's what you expect. They will spend more time on the page. Counterintuitively, they're actually spending less time on the page because your content has gotten shorter. They're actually reading it faster, and what they are doing is they are going and reading other pages. So they're spending more time on your website, but they're actually spending lesser time on each description of the study they're using, and the number of referrals have gone up as well. So here is you can leave this room, and you can point it to this guy. He said it, that yes, you can use UI, generative AI, you can launch it with a major sponsor, and the early results are, it is promising. It is leading to patients being able to understand it, comprehend it, and take some action on it. Very exciting. And this is just the start of it. Thank you for asking that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
You know, as a rare patient, I definitely understand the issues with clinicaltrials.gov. So knowing that and thinking about generative AI that has the potential to make recruitment faster and more understandable for patients, can you tell me about how TrialX has leveraged these technologies to accelerate study startup materials while ensuring that the right patients are identified for trials? So tell us a little bit about that, and maybe a success story if you have one.
Oh, thank you, Mackenzie. And as I said, going back, our guided search is AI-driven as well, and it has been used for multiple myeloma, Rett syndrome, sickle cell disease, a variety of such conditions. But let's talk about generative AI. So simplifying the trial content, that's one example. Gone live with a major sponsor, about 4 months of data we have. Where else can we go? So currently when we work with the sponsors, they're taking about 6 to 8, sometimes 12 weeks to create a study website. They have to get the content, they have to get the pre-screening questions, they have to create images, they have to get ad campaigns, they have to get all of that reviewed. I have told my engineering team, and I'm telling all of you, as friends, as colleagues, as people who like challenges, I want all of that to be cut down to 8 hours. 8 hours with generative AI. There is no reason today, with all the possibility, that you cannot have your study materials created in less than 8 hours. All your advertising copy, all your images, all your study content, including in templates, all you have to do is review it. If you go and see our booth, our big picture, we actually have a picture which I would love to get your opinion on. It says, generated by AI, reviewed by humans. And I think that is the fundamental paradigm shift that is being enabled by this technology. And I'm really confident that by end of this year, as a study team, as a recruitment manager, you will get your protocol documents, you will be able to get a live website in multiple languages. By the end of the day, you go next morning, you come back home, you have your first referrals coming in. So that's the power. Pre-screening questions, we are already on it. You can give the NCT number, we'll generate 8 pre-screening questions at 8th grade level. You can even tell the AI, make it yes, no questions. Believe it or not, you tell it, I don't want questions open-ended, I want them to be yes, no. Give an option for I'm not sure. It'll do that as well. And you review it, and it's ready for go. Study website images, study website templates. Google ad copy, Facebook, it's done deal. You don't even have to tell it much. It's Facebook copy, Twitter, Instagram, everything is being done. So I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are excited. And we can't solve this on our own. We need your input, we need your advice, we need your guidance to review this material. But by end of this year, 6 weeks is down to 8 hours. I hope that's exciting to people. If not more, so I keep saying this to all people we work with. We are not competing with us or necessarily within ourselves in this industry. I always look at SpaceX. I said, if before they can land mine on Mars, I want that we are able to solve the recruitment problem here on Earth. And I think you guys would like to participate in the challenge. Before we land on Mars, how can we solve the recruitment challenges here on Earth by 2030? Faster websites, faster recruitment, better registries, better matching. And generative AI is there to help us with that. I'm excited about it. I hope you can sense it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. You heard it from him. He said this is the answer, okay? So come see him later. In our last minute, can you just summarize to us, what have you learned from integrating generative AI into recruitment, and how has this shaped the future of your strategies or the way that you approach patient engagement?
Again, as I was been building on it, using AI since 2008, now with generative AI, simplifying trial content, and as I just promised to you in front of the whole audience, that in 8 hours you can create your entire study website material created by the end of the year. But this is just the start, folks. And I'm talking to you as a person who has spent 16, 20 years doing this professionally, that we are on the cusp of something fundamentally amazing. And of course, it has its pitfalls. Every technology has its pitfalls. Every technology has its risks and benefits. But creating this kind of text content, that's just 101 for this AI. Next level is images, videos, and whole human interaction. You can talk to AI today, and somebody mentioned in the panel yesterday that they feel that their ChatGPT sessions are more empathetic than their providers' conversations with them. And it is true. And in various use cases people are making of these AI, I feel from text is going to evolve to human conversations. And I know all of you are hearing about this. You are wondering what it sounds like. So hey, how about why don't we invite AI to the room? Let's see how it sounds when AI tries to talk to a patient. Let's see if this is going to work, okay? So I've just turned on my phone and see what the AI does.
Hello, I'm calling you to walk you through a quick pre-screener questionnaire. Before we get started, may I have your name, please?
I am Khan.
Hello, Khan. It's nice to speak with you. I appreciate you taking the time to participate in this pre-screener questionnaire. I'll do my best to make this process as smooth and comfortable as possible for you. Let's get started, Khan. Have you been diagnosed by a doctor with pancreatic cancer?
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Khan. I appreciate your openness. Next question. Do you know what type of pancreatic cancer you have? If you're not sure, don't know, that's completely okay. We can move forward from there.
I think my doctor told me I have adenocarcinoma.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Khan. Adenocarcinoma is a type of pancreatic cancer, and I appreciate you.
I hope you got a sense of it. Does it sound human? Does it sound exciting? And here's the secret. There is no script. We didn't tell it to read these words. This is not text-to-speech being done. All we told it, and this is where the paradigm shift is happening. This is where your experience, your business practices will come into play. We have prompted it. We have told it to go in this direction, and we have safeguarded ourselves. You'll say, okay, but can the AI spit anything? No, we have safeguarded and say, if you don't understand the input, the maximum you are allowed to go is just this much. So that when she heard that I have adenocarcinoma of the pancreas, the follow-up response was not scripted. She said, oh, I understand. It's a type of pancreatic cancer. It was told that stay within this boundary. Don't go beyond that. So that's the exciting part. I feel that this is possible. This will be available on our website by end of the month, in April. And video avatars, full talking video experiences by end of the year. So talking about the future, next year, I want to be able to come and talk to you guys about the results of this. We will have a call right here with all of you being able to pre-screen at the same time for a study that we'll design for Valerie and her team for a conference forum. How about that,
Wonderful.
folks? That's my promise to you.
Thank you so much.